Welcome everybody back to N90X. I'm your host Joe, and this video is brought to you by Understanding the NetScaler SDX, my first book, as well as NetScaler Hacks, my second book. And this video is going to be talking about what I did regarding both of these books. So, as you know, my first book, Understanding the SDX, is the story of how I built my own SDX clone and how you can too. So I built that SDX using a case from a NetScaler 7500. Okay, and after building it and running it as an SDX box, I then, as you can see on the screen, I then booted up ESXi and made it a virtualization server. So based upon the motherboard, the CPU, and all that good stuff, it it is a, what is it? I believe it's an E1275 version 2 Intel Xeon. So it's 4 cores, 8 threads. It's running at 3 point, what's it running at? Let's take a look. 3.4? I believe it's 3.4 gigahertz. There it is. You can see it right there. It's a NetScaler SDX 8200. E3 1275 running at 3.4 gigahertz. That extra gigahertz, a gigahertz is a billion instructions per second. So if you go from 2.4 to 3.4, it actually is a huge improvement. Now this machine, it's a 1U box. It's got dual power supplies. It's running perfectly as an SDX clone, or in this case as an ESXi box. And I wanted to share with you, so from NetScaler Hacks, my second book, I installed ESXi on it, and look at what I'm running on it. This is IDC in a box, Internet Data Center in a box. It's coming from that book, NetScaler Hacks. I've got a complete Citrix Zen app, Zen desktop, or now they call it Citrix virtual apps and desktops deployment on here. So I've got AD, Active Directory. I've got XD, which is a Zen app, Zen desktop controller. And then I've got my virtual machines that I'm virtualizing, okay, and sharing as part of the Zen desktop environment, Zen app, Zen desktop environment. So I want to show you that up first. And also, as described in my book, NetScaler Hacks, I've got a OSX Catalina, 10.15 running as well. So let's take a look. So I just want to show you, if I open my Citrix receiver, okay, here is my favorites. Here's my desktops. I'm sharing these virtual machines. I'm sharing these apps. So I've installed the entire Office 2007 suite, as well as the Creative Suite, the Adobe Creative Suite 2 suite on these servers, and I'm sharing all these apps along with a few others. And the impact on this server is very low. As you can look right now, all these virtual machines running at idle. Look, I'm barely using half of the 32 gigs of RAM that comes with this motherboard, that this motherboard supports, or that the SDX 8200 supports. I have 2 SSDs in there. On the SATA 3 ports, there are 2 SATA 3 ports, and there's 4 SATA 2 ports on that motherboard, the X9 SPU. Again, all of this is documented in my new book, NetScaler Hacks. Can I pull it up? Can you open up? NetScaler Hacks, okay? So very little impact. Like, I mean, look, I got 8 cores, 8 virtual cores, 4 physical cores. At idle, I'm using 4%. Okay, but I've got Citrix receiver. If I want to fire up my calculator, right, that's been shared. One of the calculators, it'll fire up. There's my calculator. Oop, whoa, I just minimized it. I did not want to minimize it. Where is it? There it is, the calculator. Here's my Windows 7 desktop that I'm also sharing. Ignore that message. Windows 7 desktop that I'm sharing, right? So I've got Windows 7 that I'm sharing here. Let me close the calculator, close the desktop. Don't need it right now. Disconnect. Let's go to my desktop. Let's see. Here's a Windows 2012 server that's running. Of course, I can get access to it directly here, or if I want to get access to the apps, I can go directly here to the server. I just want to show you that I have access to the server, or I could run these apps either on the server or virtually, and where they are virtual. So for instance, let's go to Adobe Go Live. Of course, this is Creative Suite 2, but I have it, so I decided why not use it. I mean, I have it. Yep, and there's Creative Suite 2. Go Live, Creative Suite 2, right? So really amazing environment. Look at again. Let's refresh this. See if we're using any extra CPU power. We're up to 13%. Okay, that's all good. You've all seen this before, where you could share Windows applications. And now, of course, I'm on a Mac, right? This is a Mac that I'm running on, and I'm able to run these Windows applications virtually, all from a single server. Okay, all from a single server. Everything's running on a single server. Okay, everything's on SSD locally. There's no shared storage. I'm just saying, this is one way that you can go, very low cost, build your lab, build your environment. Now, what I think is the most exciting for especially those of us who are developers, if I go into, you can see on the side here, Joseph Catalina, I'm already screen sharing, and I minimized it. Where is it? Screen sharing, right there. And here I am. Let me just go full screen. Here I have a Catalina desktop, and I'm developing in Xcode. Okay, here's a messenger app that I'm working on. Where are we at here? Xcode. Here's my Xcode with Facebook authentication, login, all that good stuff. This bad boy's running. So, if you're looking for, a low cost way, I mean, imagine this, the server that I built for roughly, think about the components. For the components, memory cost about $100. Is that about $100 for 32 gigs of RAM. The processor costs under $100. The motherboard costs $22. The two SSDs cost around $150, a 480 gig SSD and 120 gig SSD. There's also a 32 gig USB stick that I boot ESXi off of. And the case was reused from as I said, a 7500. But this could be on any machine. So, roughly talking $300-400, I have Catalina running that I'm able to develop on. And almost everything, Messenger works on this. Everything works on this. So these are just some of the things that you can do if you get my book, NetScaler Hacks, especially NetScaler Hacks, because that's really showing you what you can do with legacy hardware. In this case, the SDX or MPX/SDX 8000, it still has not reached end of life. It's not going to reach end of life for another 3 or 4 years. I think 2023 is the slated end of life. So they're a little bit hard to get a hold of, but they do show up. It's a very powerful machine, and if you can get it cheap on eBay, I totally recommend you get it, because you can do so much with that machine if you can get it an actual SDX or MPX 8200. So whether you actually turn it into an SDX or whether you use it as a virtualization box, it's super quiet. Okay, because it has pulse width modulated fans, which will speed up if it gets hot, but generally speaking, will remain very quiet, very cool, very quiet. So it's an amazing application use case for this. Let me try to get out of here. Let me minimize. Oh, here we go. Can I minimize over here? I forgot how to. how to get out of here. How do I get out of screen sharing? Oh, there we go. There we go. So let me just, oh, there we go. So you can see, and this is using OSX built-in VNC connector, right, for screen sharing. So I'm not even going to close it. I'll just minimize it. Well, if I can get there. Minimize it. And all of this is running off of a single 1U box. Okay, it's got 4 cores, 8 threads, 32 gigs of RAM, as you can see, and it's really an amazing solution. So if you're in the market for playing with your hardware in such a way, or if you're trying to build a lab, or if you are, what else? Trying to build a lab to do virtualization or run some Citrix stuff, these 2 books are really a necessity for you to get to help you understand what you can do with this type of legacy hardware or almost legacy hardware. Of course, if you can get the 11500, this is a dual 6-core, so you got 12 cores, 24 threads, and that can support up to 190, I believe 192 gigs of RAM, and it has 6 drive bays in the back. So imagine that as a standalone IDC Internet Data Center in a box. It's incredibly powerful, and you can upgrade those cores to X5690s running at 3.6 gigahertz. I believe it's 3.6 gigahertz. So you're going from 2.4 gigahertz to 3.6 gigahertz, making that an incredibly powerful machine for very little money. So I want to thank you for watching. Please subscribe to this channel so you'll get more updates and more demos of what I'm working on. And you'll be notified if you hit that bell button, be notified when I release a new video. And I hope to talk to you soon. Again, this has been Joe from N90X. Thanks for watching. Do amazing stuff. The NetScaler Hacks book is really designed to give you a lot of ideas of what you can do with not only Citrix legacy hardware, like the 5500, the 7500, the 11500, the 10500, but also any other legacy server hardware that you have, because these are really basically servers, custom appliances, and I'm showing you how you can leverage them to do amazing things with them. So then again, thanks for watching. Please subscribe to this channel for more, and I'll talk to you soon on the next video.